They brought the first patient in, and then they brought another patient in, and then they brought another patient in. And they said that there were possibly 20 more gunshot wound patients coming in. And at that point, I called my backup. It was very chaotic. There were patients that were in pain. There were patients that were crying. There were staff that was very busy, but very task-oriented.
We had gunshot wounds to the chest, gunshot wounds to the abdomen, to the extremities, most fairly severe because of the high-velocity projectiles.
What do you mean by that?
Well, this was an assault rifle, and so this is a military weapon, and so the bullets have a lot more energy to them, a lot more speed, and so they cause more tissue injury.
There's an individual who required multiple operations in the same 24-hour time period because of active ongoing bleeding. Actually got operated on twice in the operating room and once in the ICU.
But you saved him.
We did, yeah.
Are these gunshot wounds different than the kind of Saturday night gunshot wounds you typically see?
Well, certainly they're different from what we used to call civilian gunshot wounds, which were typically slower bullets, smaller bullets. But increasingly we're seeing gunshot wounds from high-velocity military-type weapons almost on a daily basis. So the injuries, this type of an injury is something we see every day. It's just not 44 patients.
Were the patients saying anything?
Some of them were crying. Some of them were confused. And then the more critical patients obviously weren't saying anything. Many people were asking where their friends and where their loved ones were.
Of the surgeries that you performed, does any patient stick in your mind?
I think they all stick in your mind. I mean, after something this horrific, going from operating room to operating room, from patient to patient, I don't think any of us will ever forget this. This is not something that goes away.
We had hundreds of family members in the lobby of the hospital, all clamoring to know how their loved one was. And I think the thing that has struck many of us is just the devastation to these families in not knowing for hours and hours, because so many of the victims were still inside the club.
I was trying to put myself in their position, just not knowing if their loved one was in the hospital or if their loved one was still at the nightclub. And I just want to say that I'm proud that we were there to be there for them, and it's very humbling.